Recently I turned a piece of koa pith, P-I-T-H. That's the center of the wood, center of the tree. That's where the pith is. That's considered a weak spot in any turning. People tend to cut the pith. I'm not lisping right now. I might lisp sometimes. I'm not lisping right now. Some people tend to cut the pith out of the wood so that they don't have issues. This is the pith right here. That's the center of the tree. It often cracks from that point. This is what the concern is right here. Someone started to cut it with a chainsaw and decided to stop. So I think Valerie sent this to me as a challenge, trying to trick me a little bit, but we're going to turn it today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy, let's take a closer look at it. First of all, the piece is maple, as we can see clearly. It's nice and dry. It is cupped, but it shouldn't get any worse now that it's nice and dry. What really is drawing me to this piece is that right there. Look at the grain, look at the figure in that grain. I hope we run into that on the inside. It's beautiful. So there's that chainsaw cut. So what I'm going to do, the piece is about generally 8 by 9. Obviously it's not the same everywhere. What I'm going to do is find the middle here, drill a hole for a woodworm screw. This will be the bottom, this will be the top. The reason is because if this was the top, then that would be at the bottom and you wouldn't see it when you're looking at the top of the bowl. And we want to show that off. That looks pretty nice. So this won't get turned at all except from here down. That'll be turned away all the way around, of course. I could take it to the bandsaw and resaw it, but if I did that, we'd end up with a piece about 5/8 of an inch thick, and I couldn't get anything out of it. By turning away this down here, I'll get a nice flow from the bottom up the side like that. The corners will remain. It'll be generally squarish, and we're going to put a recess in the bottom because it's so shallow. Now my woodworm screw sticks out 3/4 of an inch, so this is about 1 1/8 in the middle. So what I've done is I've put a 1/4 inch disc on my woodworm screw, so now it only protrudes 1/2 inch. So it's only going to go into here 1/2 inch, and that should give us plenty of working room to put a recess on the bottom and a shallow bowl or tray on the top. So let me find that center. I'll get it mounted up on the lathe and I'll see you over there. So here's the disc to reduce the protrusion of the woodworm screw. And there's the hole that I drilled. And we'll just put the two together. And we'll hope that's going to hold it. As you can see, this point of our piece is closest to the tool rest. The others are all 1 inch or more away. When I start here, I'm only going to be hitting this one piece. So when that happens, something like that happens, you want to have this piece turning as fast as you can without vibration and safely so that your cuts are smoother. But since we're only going to be hitting the one and I can only get max about 630 RPM, it's going to be kind of tough for a while. And I like to come in from the outside on a piece like this with square corners. I find coming this way makes chip out on these corners, and I don't want any chip out. Once I get it in here a ways, about this far, then I can start coming back this way, which is a whole lot easier and makes a smoother cut as well. So we're going to be turning at 630 RPM. I'm going to wear a glove because this stuff is sharp coming off of here. Mask and face shield on. Oh, and before I forget, last week's video, which was what I called a found on ground root ball, turns out to be coastal tea tree wood. Coastal tea, T-E-A, tree wood. Tuffy found it in the San Francisco Bay area, which is where it grows. I don't know if it grows anywhere else. Look it up. It's a very interesting tree. It's all twisted up just like a root ball would be. Just exactly like. And that's what I thought it was a root ball, but it wasn't. Coastal tea tree wood. I need to pay attention to where I am. See, there's that chainsaw cut. I want this gone, and I want that to stay. I think I'm there, I'm not sure. Yeah, see, if I hit this corner, I've ruined it. We don't want to hit that corner right there, but we want to come up right to it. And I can't see it, I just know about where it is all. And I can't really get much closer here. Boy, I've picked out a terrible chore for myself. Look how thin that is. It's just the way the wood is, different thicknesses. It's just a rough cut piece of wood. I think I got it. I think. Well, I'm getting it. But if that corner goes away, then that's really bad, and I can't have it. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see it, but the bevel of my gouge here, the bevel, the non-cutting part. I'm having it hit here first, and then I want to go in. After the bevel hits, it's not cutting, and then I want to go in and take this all away, but leave that. Bevel. I'm going to start shaping the bottom here a little bit. Well, I guess I got to flatten it out, huh? That looking more like a bowl or platter or something. I'm going to go ahead and mark out for the recess. And we'll make the recess. Found some cracks, so I put CA in them and made a mess. But that's okay, because I'm going to change this profile. I don't like it. I'm going to dish it out so that it's more of a blend under here. So I'll get rid of most of that. And then I'll try scraping some of this away, but this one wing is so thin, I have to be really careful. And then we'll get back down here to the bottom. I was able to pick the speed up to 750 RPM. Back to my 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on, of course. Much better. Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll make the recess now, finally. And for that I'll use a 1/2 inch ball gouge. Now my dovetail chisel. So I think it's good. Time for sanding. I spot sanded until I got rid of my tool marks on these outside corners here. And now I'm going to sand with my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit and working up through 400. I'm going to have the lathe spinning in reverse at 400 RPM. I also noticed this crack, which I did put CA in earlier, but of course you don't want to spread your chuck jaws and spread that crack apart. So I'm going to, after sanding, I'll put sanding sealer on here, and then I will put more CA in this. I'll take it off of the lathe and put more CA in there. Hopefully that'll keep it from breaking, because it'll break right in half. I didn't see this part of the crack before. I only saw this up here. Anyway, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. And I also sanded these edges very lightly. I want to leave a little bit of texture on them that's already there, but it's smooth and it feels good. And then of course our very natural edge over here. So I'll get it all sanded up, I'll bring it back in a bit, and we'll put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. Well, if we can hold it together, I think this is going to be a pretty nice piece. Especially when you consider it's just the pith, just a throwaway piece. I can't really believe I'm even doing it. And like I say, it's the second time I've done it, because it is supposed to be a throwaway piece. It's not supposed to be any good because of these cracks, but this one just looked stable enough, as of course did the koa that I already did. And I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea. I had to say that on the last one. Some people don't like the square sides or the corners or whatever. I just like it because it's different. It's not round. So this is shellac based sanding sealer. It's called Zinsser Seal Coat. And I'll put on 2 coats, although it only clearly needs 1. Maybe I will only do 1. No, I'll do 2. I want to be sure I've covered everything well. And then 2 coats of shellac. And I will repair this crack to the best of my ability so it doesn't go flying off the lathe when we're working on the inside. That would hurt my feelings. Okay, there it is. That's the first coat. Like I said, I'll put on two coats of shellac, and I'll put CA in this crack, and hopefully that'll do the trick. So I'll see you in a bit when it's time to start working on the inside. I did take it off the lathe and put CA in that crack, and you can kind of see the crack here and here. Now remember, my jaws are opened into that crack, spreading it apart. I'm hoping the CA will hold. I didn't tighten the jaws really tight, but it could split in half, I guess. I really hope not, because I'm really liking this piece. I especially love this. We're going to be turning at 670 RPM, stubby little 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Of course, the thinner we get, the less surface area there is holding that crack together. So I got to keep that in mind. I have to be honest, I'm kind of falling in love with this natural top here. I don't think I'm going to turn that. I don't think I'm going to flatten it off. I think I'm going to save that. I'll sand it with my Sandoflex so it'll feel good, but it's still going to have a lot of texture. I think that was just split, like with an axe, or split naturally, I don't know. Nice curls coming off of there. Just a rustic candy dish, I guess, if it holds. I just wanted to find the bottom of that hole so I could measure inside my recess. Well, we're currently at about a 1/2 inch, so I can go about another 1/4 inch or so. Yeah, now we're just a little under a 1/4. So that's about all I can do. I'm wondering if I should round over this edge right here. It'll get rounded over slightly with sanding anyway. Okay, well, speaking of sanding, time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. This is 180 grit. I'm going to sand with the grain and just kind of smooth out all these grooves or grain or cuts, or I don't know. I just don't know what it is. I don't think it's a chainsaw. I think it really splits somehow, either with an axe or the wind. I don't know. When I'm done with that, I will switch to my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit. I'll have the lathe spinning forward at 370 RPM. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. I thought I might have to go finer, but I don't. The texture just feels wonderful. And it's nice and smooth now. Cool. And that's what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and put the finish on. I'll bring you back in a little bit and we'll take a good look at this thing. See you in a bit. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. People need to know that you just don't have to throw this stuff away. Well, here it is. One throwaway maple candy dish in the books. And to me, it's just wonderful. I hope that texture's coming through. Is it? Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Here you go. Now, it just would have been a shame to turn all that away into a flat surface. It just feels, it tickles your fingers. Tickles your fingers. I love that knot there we got. That's way cool. And there's the bottom. Looks as good as the top does. Irregular edges, irregular thickness. Some are thick and some are thin. Then you have that gorgeousness right there. I just think it's way cool. If I had a cabin, this is what I'd have sitting on my coffee table. And you know what? I'm just amazed. I'm amazed myself what can come from throwaway wood. I might have an idea of what I'm gonna make once I start, but it's always a surprise. I think it's pretty cool. I hope you guys like it. Thank you, Valerie, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week. I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. I love reading your comments. Please, please keep leaving comments. They're incredible. You folks are incredible. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.